Good morning, everybody. This is Mr. Terry, and just want to say that I'm really missing seeing you guys at school. I hope you're all safe and well and doing well in your classes that you're doing at home. I also want to say thank you for everybody that's been posting some really awesome artwork that you've been doing. Some really great stuff, and I really appreciate you putting that out. And I want to encourage you to keep doing that. Keep making art. Remember, there's no secret, no magic formula, nothing you can do to get good at drawing and making art. It's just practice, practice, practice. And some of you guys are doing that, and you're doing great at it. And I see you're getting better and better. So I want to encourage you to keep doing that. Another way that I want to encourage you is today is Be an Artist Day, or Make Mr. Terry Proud Day at OES. And I want you to know, of course, I'm already proud of you, but I can't wait to see the kind of art you're going to be making. I'll be even more proud of you. So I encourage you to put that out there so I can see it. I also want to help you in that, and so I put together some art lessons to share with you today. And so if you get you some paper, pencil, maybe a pen of some kind, markers or crayons, colored pencils, whatever you have, I want to take a little time and share some art lessons with you and some drawing with you. So hope you get ready and join me. So as we get started, we want to begin by talking about the art elements. And the elements of something are just kind of the basic building blocks of things. What we might think of like if you were cooking as ingredients. So for example, if you were going to make a pepperoni pizza, you would need things like crust and sauce and cheese. Those are your ingredients. And for art, the ingredients we use are things like lines. Now there are basically three kinds of lines that we'll use. We'll use straight lines, we'll use curved lines, and we'll use angled lines, sometimes called zigzag lines. And lines can go in three directions. Straight lines can be vertical, like the one we drew. They can be horizontal, which goes side to side, or slanted, which is diagonal. So these are some of the ingredients of lines that we'll be using in our drawings. When we put lines together and enclose a space, this is what we call shapes. And there are three basic shapes that we'll use. Squares, which use vertical and horizontal lines. Circles, which use a curved line. And a triangle, which uses angled lines. What's most important to remember about lines and shapes is that they communicate things to our viewer. Really, this is what all of art's about, is that we communicate things to other people. So for example, if we use vertical lines and horizontal lines, or the shape that they make, which is a square, this will communicate something that's very stable or very solid, unmoving. This is why most of our buildings are made square, because they feel very stable. Also, if we use angled lines or triangles, the shapes that it makes, this will communicate the opposite, something that's unstable or that could be dangerous. This has pointy edges, something that's sharp and maybe could hurt you. And so this will communicate that to our viewers when we use those kind of lines. For this first lesson, we're going to use curved lines and round shapes, which remind us of things like babies, or like playing with a ball, something that's fun and cute. Round-shaped characters, when we draw them, usually are characters that we feel sympathy for, like we would for a baby, that make us happy, that we think of as very cute and very fun and playful. Round-shaped characters also feel very safe to us because there's no sharp edges to them, and it's like a fluffy pillow or a marshmallow or something. And so these are the first kind of characters we're going to draw today. There are all kinds of cute cartoon characters that use curved lines and round shapes, and we think they're lots of fun. We laugh at them, we sympathize with them, feel sorry for them, and just all around enjoy watching them on the big screen and looking at pictures of them. One of the most famous characters, of course, uses round shapes, and that's the one we're going to draw today. So let's draw Mickey Mouse. For this first part of our drawing, we're just going to use a regular good old-fashioned number 2 pencil that you use for school. So get one ready and get it sharpened. Okay, one thing I want you to keep in mind when we start drawing with a pencil is that you want to learn how to draw lightly and not make too dark a mark. So normally when you write with a pencil, you're going to make a mark like this. And that's good if you're writing letters or you're doing your classwork. But the problem is, if it comes time to erase, it can be kind of hard to get rid of. So what we want to do is we want to do very light lines. We want to practice not pressing down hard and just doing light things. So that way, if we need to erase, it's going to be much easier. See? Alright, so keep that in mind. Alright, you should have your number 2 pencil ready. Get our paper and we're going to warm up, getting ready to draw a circle. Don't worry about this being a perfect circle. It just needs to be round, and that will communicate to your viewers. Now Mickey has more circles, of course, for his world famous ears. And so we'll do those kind of to the top and then one to the back. Mickey's ears are always visible no matter how his head is turned. And we're going to add a guideline right here. This is going to be kind of show us what the center of the face is so we can put the eyes in the right place. And now, of course, Mickey's nose and mouth, which is just going to be a long curve that curves up and around and back under the eyes. Now, we are going to add Mickey's nose, which is an oval, and then Mickey's cheek and his chin, which are just 2 curves. Now for Mickey's hairline, just a couple of curved lines, and we're going to stop at the cheek and then wrap around, and this really makes it feel round and cute. Now we're going to add Mickey's body. We're going to draw a line so that we know which way that his body's going to go, and we don't want it straight up and down, so do it at a diagonal. Also, we're going to add a smaller circle. It needs to be smaller than the head so he looks cute like a baby. And just kind of fill in lines around that. You're just kind of wrapping it around that structure. Then we're going to add some legs. Don't make them straight up and down, but put them at a diagonal. This will give him life and make him feel like a real living character. People don't just stand straight up and down. They also don't put their arms straight to their sides, but we're going to rest his arms on his hips. Now for the hands at this point, we're just going to do some ovals. For the feet, we're going to do just a couple of circles. And later we're going to kind of wrap our lines around this and kind of build the structure. Now let's draw Mickey's world famous red shorts. And we're going to add just kind of a little bit of what we would call a lip. Just a little edge there to make it feel 3-dimensional. Now, of course, the pants legs and the 2 buttons right there in the center is just ovals. Now let's add some thickness to the arms and the legs. And so we're just going to draw a line around those. We're also going to draw the gloves, Mickey's famous gloves. And we'll just do an oval at the top. That's how he pulls them on. And then we're just going to do a couple of curves to add fingers on there. Now we're going to do the same things for the legs and the feet. So just make the legs a little thicker. And then we're going to wrap and draw lines around our circles to make the foot. Don't forget the little heels that Mickey has on his shoes. Also, as we kind of wrap this up, one thing I'm really bad to forget is the tail. So don't forget to add in the tail and make this a cute, kind of curvy, fun line. For this next part, we're going to use a pen to ink our drawing to go over our pencil lines. I'm going to use a black felt tip pen, but you can use any kind of ink pen that you have to make a dark and a permanent line for your drawing. Alright, you should have your pen ready. I like to put the cap on the back so that I don't have to hold it. Now we're just going to draw over our lines. We'll start with Mickey's nose. This line you want to be a little bit slower and more careful, but don't make it too stiff. I'm going to add a little white line there, and I'm going to color this in. Now there's going to be a lot to color in on Mickey, so don't use this pen to do all of it because you'll use up all the ink. But the nose is fine. We're also going to now do the mouth, and I can just draw right through that nose and keep a good continuous curved line. We want these lines to be long and smooth. We don't want them to be short and choppy and sketchy. So now we add in Mickey's lip. Now for the eyes, I'm going to start by making two little V's on the side. If you ever see the classic Mickey Mouse, these are meant to show highlights in his eyes, to make them look shiny. So I'll draw that, and then I'll just do the curve on around. And again, this is a small shape, so I'm going to use the pen and color those in black. From this point on, you're basically just kind of tracing over your pencil lines. But again, don't forget to keep your lines long and smooth, not short and scratchy. Now for the circle part, that's the head, you might want to turn your paper around so you can get it at a good angle and you can see what you're doing. I normally won't make just the complete circle here, but I'll break it up and leave a little space there, as you can see, so that way I can get my line the way that I want it. And then I'll just go back and fill in those gaps that I left there. Now I don't particularly like this part of the line, so I'm going to redraw that. Unfortunately, it's in a part we're going to color in black. So don't be afraid to correct it. You know, when you ink, you're not just straight up tracing, though you are tracing, but you're correcting things because this is going to be what your finished drawing looks like. So now we get the ears. And we're not going to color these in with the pen because it will use up too much ink. We're going to save that for a marker. Now moving on to the body. Again, we're just going to be outlining. Don't forget to add the little lip on the shorts here. This kind of little curve. We'll do the same thing on the shoes and the gloves here in just a second. So don't forget to add that. Also add a little indication there. Now when we do these pants legs, now you'll notice here this pant leg on this side is in front of the curve of the body, but for the rest of it I'm going to do the curve all the way around, and that's because this other pant leg is actually behind Mickey, being turned slightly away from us. It's actually behind the rest of his body. So this is called overlapping when we draw, and again it adds some realism and a sense of space to our drawing. Well, we're just kind of outlining the rest of our lines here. So just follow along the best you can. If you need to pause the video, feel free to do that at any time. Now we're going to take our eraser and we're going to erase out all of our pencil lines. And what this will do is leave us with a nice clean drawing, and all of that structure and things we put underneath, nobody needs to see that. That was just for us. So take a little time and erase this the best you can. That's why it's important to draw lightly, isn't it? And kind of dust that off. Look for any stray pencil marks. Make this look really nice and clean for coloring. Now for coloring, we're just going to use our old faithful Crayola markers. You guys know we use these in class all the time, and you know them very well. I really like these because of the tip of these markers. You can get a thick line for coloring, but also very thin and fine line if you need it. So these are going to be great. Alright, so we got our Crayola marker ready to go. We'll start with our black marker. One thing about coloring that people need to understand, it's hard to stay in the line. So what I like to do is I like to do an outline first. So I can outline that shape, and now I can color really fast in the middle, and I don't have to worry about getting out of the line. And so this is a way to keep our drawing looking nice and neat and clean. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Just do a quick outline, and then I can color in really fast. Once I get that done, it's like a little wall or a fence that keeps me in and keeps my drawing looking good. Same thing with Mickey's hairline here, and we'll do the same thing with the rest of his body. Do the little outline first, and then you can fill it in fast and not have to worry about messing up or making your drawing look shabby. Now we got our red marker. We're going to do something a little different with this. Now instead of doing the outline on the edge, I want to make it look like the light is shining down on Mickey. So I'm going to do a little line away from the edge and leave just kind of a little white kind of highlight on Mickey. And this is a way that we can add a little bit of shading even though we're doing solid markers. And I'm going to do that on this right hand side of his red pants. And then once I do that, I'm going to outline the rest of the pants. I'm going to outline here in a minute around the buttons, and then I can color and fill that in fast. But just leave that little white highlight there on the edge, and that'll really add just, a simple thing that really adds a little bit more realism, a little bit more life, and a little bit of shading and lighting to your drawing. And now for the yellow shoes. I really like the simplicity of this design. And remember we said art is about communication, and one of the things we want to do is keep our communication simple and easy for people to understand. So Mickey's just black, white, red, and yellow. Just a really simple, easy to read way. One of the reasons he's so appealing to so many people. Okay, we're all done, and the last thing we need to do is just add our signature. Thanks for drawing with me today. Well, that's it for lesson number 1. I hope that you enjoyed drawing with round shapes and learning that round shapes are cute and playful, and people think about cute little things like babies when they do that and when they use those kind of shapes, and that can make characters very appealing to people. So if you design characters, you want to make them cute and really appealing to people, use round shapes. Thanks for joining me, and have a good day. Keep drawing.